Hello guys, every good name is taken here and welcome back to another video. And today we got a member request made by one of my advanced plebs. To quickly explain how these work, those that are advanced or over that, which are currently free, can request one video per month of their choosing, and one of those has been the Dracula. And we're gonna be reviewing it today, and as this is quite a unique tank and you can't really have a comparison on tier 7, as the most actual comparison would be the CDC, but I want to keep it tier to tier, I've chosen the best in my eyes currently tier 7 medium tanks to compare to, which will be the Panther one and the Rudy. And today we got a replay of probably one of the biggest Dracula addicts in Gneiss, which is Gravy. He has played over 3000 battles in this tank, so he definitely knows how to play this. And whilst we are gonna have a look at this replay, I'm gonna go over the statistics of this tank a bit more. So the Dracula has 225 AP standard penetration, meaning it has a 90mm gun, which is one of the higher calibers of its tier, and therefore has higher average damage than both the Panther and the Rudy. Your penetration is only 155, which is kind of in the mid of most tier 7 medium tanks. Way less than the Panther one, but more than the Rudy. Your APCR shoots up to 235, which even for APCR standards is only in the mid part, or for premium rounds on tier 7. And your alpha damage drops to 190, but that's box standard for every 90mm gun. And your HE is 45 penetration with 270 alpha, so you don't want to be using this ammo too often, other than like Ball 6, Bulldogs or something like that. The shell velocity is an only 860 on AP, meaning sniping you gotta give a bit more lead than other tanks. And now to your reload, which is probably what I have the biggest issue with in this tank. It's 6.3 seconds, giving you a stock DPM of, or not stock, but with gun rammer and swords, of 2100, which is second lowest in its tier by mediums. The only one being worse than that being the T20, and only by really not a lot. So DPM wise, this thing is on the really bottom of tier 7 mediums. So you're not gonna trade well with this tank when it comes to that. Aim time on this tank is a pretty good 2 seconds with meh accuracy of 0.35, which is way worse than the Panther one with its 0.29, or even its Rudy with 0.33 if you round it up. So what is then good about this tank? The really turret rotation and movement dispersion is not that great either. It's pretty standard on 0.12 for both. Your gun depression is a good 10 degrees and your gun elevation pretty good. It's 20 as well, so nothing outrageous there, but it's nice to have. So it's definitely more than both Panther and Rudy. Your speed is what makes this tank, and let's talk about that next. You have 65 km/h top speed forward, which is way better than both Panther and Rudy. And you got 20 back, which is exactly the same on all 3 tanks. And what makes this tank so speedy is its engine power. You got 1320, meaning that you're gonna be getting up to that top speed very quickly. You got a horsepower per ton of 40 and an effective horsepower per ton of 40 as well. So your acceleration is, I think, one of the highest in this game, if not the highest, not too sure. But your terrain resistances aren't that special if we have a look at the comparison of, for example, the Rudy, which has better on 2 grounds, but the Panther being slower, as it's of course just a slower medium with more armor. Your traverse speed is of 50 degrees per second, which is slower than the Rudy but quicker than the Panther. And your camo, I don't know if we really want to need to talk about this. It's 20 stationary, 15 on the move, and pretty much between both Panther and Rudy again, the Panther having the worst, the Rudy the better one. And yeah, It's basically it for the stats of this tank. You got a base HP of 1250, which is again right in the middle. You don't weigh a lot of 33 tons, so ramming against other mediums, try to avoid that possibly. And another thing, you have no ammo, of course, which is why you have that insane speed. You got 30 frontally and 20 on the sides and rear for both turret and hull. So don't expect anything to really bounce on this tank all too much. All you can maybe hope is for enemies to not HG pen you thanks to some side skirts. And yeah, overall stat wise this tank doesn't look too impressive other than his mobility. So why is it so loved? And it's really just the mobility and being able to bum around at your top speed limit and just completely destroy your enemy. And Gravy has shown this here with his 3.4k damage, 5 kills. Got himself an ace in a T8 game. So it's not too bad, right? And just having a quick reminder of the armor here. As you can see, this thing has some side skirts down below. And down here as well. So HEing it into the tracks, bad idea. HEing it in the turret, sure, go ahead. Also the back and of course the front. Also the ammo rack, I'm pretty sure is right here. So be a bit careful about that. One other quick unique thing you gotta have to mention for this tank is its track repair speed. Don't think it's shown anywhere in game or on a third-party website, but it's 1 second. So that's really flipping quick. Wanted to mention one more thing. Yeah, as you can see, I have the legendary camo on this tank, and you would say you can't access this camo, you can't buy it. So isn't it unfair to those that don't have it because it gives you a camo value? No, it doesn't. Tanks where you can only obtain the legendary camo through different means, like the 5A or so. Or wait, no, tanks where you can't get any other camo than a legendary, like Helsing, or all of the other Blitz Nation tanks that can't have other camos. They don't give a camo bonus, so you're a bit behind there compared to other tanks. Which is again a minus, like if we have a look at the Hafen, for example, you can't even put a camo on. Or, I don't know, the Lycan can't buy a camo either. Or, I don't know, maybe even a Smasher or a Helsing. You can't buy camos, but therefore they also don't give you any camo value. How I'm running this tank is with adrenaline, double repairs, is pretty standard. Then double food and fuel. Don't think you need 2 fuel in this tank's already quite speedy. Ammo loadout is figuring me, let's make it like this. You got quite a lot of ammo, 90 shells. That's quite a lot, so you can basically take any loadout you want. And then I'm going for gun rammer because, as I say, the DPM is really bad without it. If we have a look at it without the gun rammer, you don't even cross 2000. So you really want this because the calibrated shells doesn't give you much. And as I say, the pen's also quite bad, so you will be using APCR quite a bit. I'm gonna enhance my aim time here as it's also not the greatest, and you're gonna shoot a lot on the move, so you want to get that down to as much as you can. Improved modules on this tank is actually an okay idea to go for, as you probably will be ramming quite often into light tanks. You might want to consider this. And you got your improved optics, camo net is not necessary. You have no armor, so improved assembly. And engine accelerator. I don't think you need traverse speed in this tank, really. And yeah, you don't need this. It's not gonna do much, especially as you only really use this for the tracks. And yeah, I guess this is pretty much it for the loadout of this tank. So let's just jump straight into a live game and talk a bit more about the tank. And something of interest, or I probably would have to talk about here, is people consider this tank to be overpowered, too good, however you want to be calling it. But just statistically alone, the gun is one of the worst in its tier in most aspects, like DPM or pen. And you don't have any armor as well. And you would say, no, this tank has trollish armor. Not really, all it has is side skirts. And if you shoot too low on the tank, Of course you're not gonna pen, because you're not gonna hit anything of the hull. If you shoot too low, you're gonna not pen in any tank. So don't put it on that. You really shouldn't, in my opinion. And yeah, let's just see how we can perform here. Got a bit late into the game and also have a bit of package loss. That's quite unfortunate. We got a good dragon platoon in our team. And to get back onto the topic, I don't think this tank is overpowered. If you want to have a bit of fun, of course, this is probably one of the most fun tanks to play out there. Especially at tier 7. So yeah. If it's ever in shop and it's you can afford it, if you want to have it, go for it. But it's not overpowered. There's absolutely no reason to call it that. I don't see a way this tank can be overpowered. As you say, we bounced the shot, but it hit our tracks, so you can't really call it a bounce, as any shot would have bounced here. We lost our support of one of the dragons, but we have some TDs in the back. Now we can use the 6 degrees of gun depression this tank has. And maybe also a bit of the mobility. I'm gonna use APCR to make sure I pen, as the Tur has quite the trollish armor layout. Let's try and circle this IS now, get out of this aiming area. We don't want to get shot by him all too much. But yeah, DPM not really that high, so you're not gonna be killing your enemies all that quickly. But I think I need to address this here. I'm not saying this is a bad tank. I will state that clearly. I do not consider this to be a bad tank. I just don't think it's overpowered, and it's probably a bit overhyped. But yeah, overall this pretty much concludes my thoughts of this tank. I'd like to hear your opinion in the comment section down below. Do you think this tank is overpowered? Do you think it would need changing? Or what do you love about the tank? So yeah, it's pretty much it for this. Let's just finish off this game here against this WZ and win the game 7-1. Not the best Dracula game, we just played pretty standard. We backed at ridgeline, got TD support, and yeah, played this pretty normally. We penned most of our shots, but it wasn't too difficult as we were mostly playing equal tier targets or shot into the sides and rears of tanks. And yeah, overall it's a good tank, definitely not overpowered. I'm gonna keep saying that. If anyone is annoyed by that, I don't mind. But yeah, this is it from me for this tank review. It's definitely worth if you want to pick it up, if you like the more agile playstyle. I don't think it's too suited for people that don't like to play without any armor, as all you're gonna rely on is people not aiming well on you. So yeah, this was it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you all again next time. Bye bye.